there was a collision on the approach in the 3-3. We're going to be shutting down operations for the indefinite future. If you want to go back to the gate, highly suggest you guys coordinate with the company. Let me know what you want to do.
And with that, we begin with breaking news right now on the WHAS 11 night team. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. Tragedy in the night sky tonight in the nation's capital involving a commercial airlines jet. An American Airlines regional jet with at least 60 people on board has collided with a military helicopter over the icy Potomac River in Washington, D.C. We want to take live pictures now. The crash happened just before 9 tonight, and you are looking at live video coming from the huge search and rescue effort in the river. D.C. fire boats have been in the water now for more than 2 hours. You can see all the emergency lights flashing there. That is on the shoreline. You see right forward of that, just in front of those flashing lights, that's the Potomac River. The American Airlines smaller regional jet was coming in from Wichita, Kansas to Reagan National Airport. That's when it collided in midair with the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter and then into the river. Many fatalities are feared tonight. ABC News moments ago confirming through sources 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board the American Airlines flight, also a 3-person crew on board the Black Hawk helicopter. Now I'm joined live now on the phone by WHAS 11's aviation expert Reed Yaden, who has been following this closely tonight. Reed's a longtime pilot. And Reed, can you tell us about this flight from Wichita? And a question I have for you, that specific small regional jet, doesn't this same style of aircraft fly out of Louisville?
Indeed, it does. It's a Canada Air regional jet manufactured by Canada Air, since acquired by Mitsubishi. But we do fly those aircraft out of Louisville. They're twin-engine. They call them narrow-body jets. This particular one that crashed tonight in the Potomac River there was a CRJ, stands for Canada Air Regional Jet 700. It apparently had around 60 passengers and 4 crew, but it can carry up to 78. The aircraft, this particular aircraft is the longer range version of an earlier CJR or CRJ 200, which you may remember had 1 row of seats and then 2 rows of seats. This one has 2 rows on either side, but it is a narrow body. Here's what we know. It left Wichita tonight at 5:22 Central Standard Time en route for the airport there. Crashed just short of the airport in Washington. 8:48 was its arrival time when it was scheduled to arrive in D.C. I believe it was running a little bit early tonight when it was on approach. If you've flown into D.C., then you've flown in this approach many times over the river there. That's the reason the aircraft had the collision. It was on short final. It was a collision, and both aircraft apparently went into the river.
Well, Reed,
the other aircraft involved, Doug, was a Sikorsky-manufactured Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter. It's a utility helicopter, twin-engine helicopter. You see them around our area a lot at Bowman, at Louisville International. You see them at in the air show, Thunder over Louisville, and you see them at Fort Knox. It's a utility helicopter used by the Army. Tonight, it had 3 people on board.
This, of course, Reed,
some safety records.
This of course, Reed, a tragedy for our country. When's the last commercial airlines flight that we had a crash, a fatal crash of this size?
Well, you go back, and it would be the Kogan Air crash in 2009, February 12th of 2009. Kogan Air crash. It was en route to Buffalo, crashed short of Buffalo after the aircraft stalled. 50 people died in that one. And before that, you go to 2006, August 27th, and that was the Con Air crash in Lexington that took 49 lives.
Is it common for helicopters to be flying in this airspace so close to Reagan National?
It's a highly restricted airspace. I'm not sure what kind of mission this helicopter was on, but it would be rather unusual because the the airspace all around D.C., but particularly near Reagan National, is highly controlled.
Okay, Reed Yaden, our aviation expert. Thank you, Reed, so much for shedding light on the specific type of aircraft we're talking about. Of course, Reed pointing out that Black Hawk helicopter that has been involved in this crash, of course, we see for around here for Thunder over Louisville, so many of our viewers know what we are talking about. To bring you up to date here, we do want to recap. We are on standby for any live news conference coming during this newscast out of Washington. We, of course, will bring it to you from ABC News. The latest tonight, the massive search is underway after an American Airlines, a smaller regional jet flying from Wichita, Kansas to Reagan National, collided with a U.S. Army helicopter tonight. ABC News reporting 60 people on board the American Airlines flight with a 4-person crew. Three crew members on board the Black Hawk helicopter. The flight took off from Wichita, Kansas at 5:22 Central Time. It then flew for 2 hours and 26 minutes before crashing into that helicopter and then into the icy Potomac River at 8:48 p.m. tonight. It was 6 minutes away from landing at Reagan National. Again, we're following this tragedy in Washington, D.C. throughout this newscast. We will bring you any live updates coming right up.